Hi, my name is Karolina Sieler, and I am a former law lecturer here in London, as well as the founder of a platform called firstclasslb.com, which helps law students just like you to get a first in their law essays and law exams. Today I want to talk to you about something very, very important when writing your law essays, which is writing an introduction. Now, a lot of students that talk to me have problems with writing law essay introductions, and they also end up very often having a very unstructured introduction, which doesn't really do the proper job of introducing the essay, and that really sheds light on the remaining parts of the essay, and it can very often just cause a lot of confusion for the reader trying to analyze your essay. So there are 4 main steps that I'm going to go through with you of writing a law essay introduction. The first one is to describe the background of your essay. The second one is to introduce the debate that you're going to be discussing in your essay. The third one is presenting the central argument, and we will explain in a bit a little bit more about what a central argument is. And the fourth one is to conclude an essay with an outline of the remaining parts of your essay. So let's start with the first one, describing the background of your essay. Whenever you're trying to write a law essay, you have to keep in mind that the primary purpose of writing it is so that it explores a certain topic from one or more perspectives. So sometimes you might be just writing one side of arguments, sometimes you'll be writing both sides of arguments. But the purpose of it is to just explore a specific topic. And for your reader to understand what topic you are trying to explore, you need to actually provide them with a bit of a background. In other words, a bit of a summary of the topic itself. And this can be either a definition of a key concept you're discussing, if there is a specific key concept you're discussing, or it can be a brief explanation of the topic of the essay, or even a rephrasing of your essay question. So when I'm talking about the definition, for instance, if you're writing an essay about parliamentary supremacy, you could write the definition of parliamentary supremacy at the very beginning of your essay, and then crack on with introducing the debate, which is the next step. Especially if you're writing an essay which is commenting on a specific quotation, so it's a quotation essay style question, it would be useful in the background of your essay to rephrase the quotation in your own words and just show the reader that this is how you understand the quotation, so that from the beginning you set the expectations for them about what you will be writing about for them. If you don't include this step, if you don't provide the background in your introduction, your essay will just have a very abrupt start, and it will just be very confusing for the reader, and they will be struggling to understand what perspective you will be trying to present on that specific topic, and even sometimes what topic you will be writing about, and whether you have understood your topic correctly. So that's why it's very important to have the background of the essay described at the beginning. The next step is introducing the debate. Now, so once you've provided the background of your essay, this step is when you kind of delve into the specifics and you try to introduce your readers to the main debate. So usually when you're asked to answer a specific question or write an essay on a specific topic, we're talking about essay questions now, you will be asked to talk about an issue that is at least slightly controversial or polarizing. So there are at least some controversial and opposing views presented by the authors of journal articles on that specific topic. And this is where you introduce debate. This is how you do it. After your background, you present a few opinions, opposing opinions of authors of journal articles commenting on your specific topic and explaining, okay, so one person has this opinion about this topic, the other person has another opinion about it, and they are clashing in some way or another. Doing this allows you to, after this section, explain, okay, so here is what I will be doing, here is how I will be exploring this topic, and also introducing the debate at this stage provides you with basically means to show the reader that there is actually a need to discuss this specific topic, because there are opposing opinions on it and people haven't really discussed and haven't agreed on one specific thing, one specific way of how the law should be in this area, or how the law is in this specific area. Now, when you're doing this, you should make sure that you don't just copy and paste the opinions, so the words from the journal articles, but you either paraphrase them or you copy and paste them but put them in quotation marks. And whether you're doing one or the other, you should always provide a scholar compliant reference for those specific quotes or rephrasings of the opinions. With smaller essays, with shorter essays, it's usually enough to include just 2 opinions, so one for and one against. With longer essays, especially if it's a dissertation, it will be needed, and it's actually better if you include a few more of those, so maybe 2 for each, 2 for and 2 against. And just this step will just really help to increase the credibility of your essay and what you're writing about, because it will show the reader, usually your lecturer, that you have actually done enough research about the topic and you understand what the opposing views are. The next step is presenting the central argument. The central argument is something I talk a lot about in my first class law essay writing course, because it's a very, very important step in essay writing, and it's something that you have to set at the very beginning of your essay, because if you don't, your essay throughout, so the main part of your essay and the conclusion will just not stick together. They will not have a common thread throughout, because the central argument is the thing that gives your essay a common thread and just a way to make sure that your essay is very, very well structured and cohesive and coherent. So a central argument is basically your opinion about the topic, the opinion that you will be trying to argue throughout your topic. And again, I provide plenty of examples about central arguments and how to formulate them, how to use them throughout the essay in my law essay writing course. So make sure you check it out if you are looking to learn more about this. But in general, the step is you introduce the central argument, and usually it's either a part of your essay question or a rephrasing of your essay question, or your quotation essay question, in a way that kind of focuses on the main part of it, the main gist of it. And usually it can be written in 2 ways. Either it will be a bit more open-ended, which means that it will kind of it will explain what you will be exploring. So it will explain, in this essay I will explore, this essay will explore, always use the third person, this essay will explore whether A, B, and C is the case. Or you could be arguing, this essay will argue that A is the case. So you're either providing an open-ended question, an open-ended central argument where you're explaining, okay, this is what I'm going to be exploring and I'm not yet sure what the final outcome is, or from the beginning you're sure this is the final outcome, that's what I'm going to do. And then you use the central argument throughout your essay to actually make sure that this is what you're arguing throughout your essay. So that's why it's crucial to use it in the introduction. The final step of your essay writing is probably the simplest one. It's simply just concluding your introduction with an outline. And what I mean by an outline is literally it's just a list of headings that are throughout your essay. And if you don't have the headings in your essay, which, by the way, you should, even if it's a short essay of 1,500 words, if you don't have them, and especially if it's a short essay of 1,500 words and your lecturer didn't want you to use headings in your essay, just list briefly what each of your paragraphs in your essay talks about. If you have headings, you're just listing the headings, but you're not doing it in the way that you would do it in a table of contents at the beginning of a book. You're doing it in a sentence. And usually with shorter essays, there's really no need to explain any more than that. You will just literally say, this essay will explore A, B, and C. And you just list the headings. When you are writing a dissertation, Here things are a little bit more complicated because the work is a bit more extended and the chapters are much longer than a standard section in an essay. It's useful to provide your reader with a bit of an overview about what is it that you're going to be saying in each of your chapters. So then instead of just listing the headings of your chapters, you would list the heading and provide a little bit more information about each chapter and what arguments will this chapter be providing the reader with, or just what main argument will be argued in that specific chapter. And that usually concludes writing an introduction. I know it sounds quite complicated, but really, if it's something that once you start learning how to do it and you use it in 2-3 essays, the remaining essays, you'll just find it really, really easy to do it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and follow my channel for more similar videos in the future. Make sure, especially if you want more support, to check out my website, firstclasslb.com, to find out a bit more about the other things that I offer. So I provide, I have 2 courses so far that I have recorded, which is the First Class Law Essay Writing course and the First Class Law Exam Revision course, as well as different revision guides on different specific subjects to help you understand a bit more about how you can shorten your revision time before the exams.